everybody, Undead Viking here, ready to do another video review for you. The game I am reviewing today is called SunGem Run. If you recognize maybe some of the artwork back here as well, this is set in the Rise of the Oculites universe. That was a kind of skirmish battle game with these awesome little minis that I reviewed a while back now. And so this is a dice and deduction game set in that universe. If you've watched my show, you know that I really enjoy games with dice, and I really enjoy deduction games. So when the designer Ben asked me if I'd be willing to take a look at this one, I said, you betcha. And so it's a fun little game. It's a quick little game like most deduction games are. I mean, some deduction games obviously take a little bit longer, you know, because there's more substance to it. But this is a game that doesn't take a long time to get into the mix, if you will, as far as the meat of the game, and so it's over quickly. It seems like these little tiny deduction games are pretty popular right now. They're having a bit of a renaissance, and so I was excited to try this one out just because it was both that type of game that I've been really enjoying, and plus there's that dice aspect of the game as well. So I'll show you how to play. There's a lot of like little things you can add to the game, like little options and whatever. I'm just going to kind of show you the base game so you can get the basic mechanics of the game down. But I invite you to go ahead and check out the page for the game over at Board Game Geek. Check out the Kickstarter page. You'll be able to see more of the options that are available when you play the game. And that's kind of neat too, because it increases the longevity of the game, and increases the experience of the game, because you can kind of mix and match the modules, as they're called, in and out of the game as you play multiple times. So, okay, how to play SunGem Run. To play SunGem Run, you will need like at least 3 people, and I wouldn't play it with 3. It doesn't work great with 3. But well, I guess technically there is a 2-player variant, but also this is a game suited for a lot of people. I would say 4 or more, but it can handle up to 8, which is pretty cool. And it seems like these little quick deduction games always seem to be able to handle a large number of people. But anyway, so here you have these 8 cards that represent the 8 different alien races, and the art is just super cool, and just like these cards will be handed out. And you see, this is the white die, the Tundras. Oops. These cards are handed out randomly to each person. Obviously, if you don't have 8 people, not every die will be somebody, but you do use all 8 cards, and you shuffle them up, and you hand one to each person. And of course, you put them face down so nobody knows who you are, because you're trying to protect who you are from the other people. And so once you get that and you know who you are, you have these 8 6-sided dice, and then you will roll these 8 6-sided dice. And then you also have this black die, which is like the podmethine, and that's actually important because if you match up with the podmethine, it's actually a pretty important aspect of the game. And so the first player, whoever that is, will take. Oh, and I should mention that these are the Sun Gems, and you collect these and use them for different actions. You start out with 10 of them, and so but you roll these, and then you take all the dice out. Here, I'll just take them out so you can actually see them. And then the person who rolls them takes time to match them up. So like put all the 4s together, put all the 3s together, the 2s, and so on and so forth, like this. And this is kind of an interesting roll. So you have that, and so each person knows, like, if you were like the Tundras, you know that you're matched up with those particular spots, if you will. And then you start actually doing your actions, and then each person gets to take an action. And passing is an action, so here's like and then you get this cool little card that has this, and theoretically I think once the game comes out, each person would have one of these. And so basic actions, you can sow confusion, which allows you, if you spend a number of Sun Gems, you can adjust any one die up or down by that number. So if you wanted to adjust the 6 down to a 1, you'd have to spend 5 Sun Gems. You can lower it down to a 1. You can do a diversion, which you just spend 3 Sun Gems, and you can pick any 3 dice and you can reroll them. And you just roll them, and then you replace them, if you will. And then you can also do an accusation, which means you have to spend 10 Sun Gems, and then you can pick somebody else and you can say, I think you're the Hydrus. And if you're right, they're out of the game. And if you're wrong, everybody else can discuss what they think you are. And the person that was accused can then make a decision, and they can say, so if the Ignis person said, I think you're the Hydrus, then they all talk, and I'm pretty sure he's Ignis, and then if they accuse you back, you'd be out of the game, because they pick. So making a false accusation does have a possibility of having a negative result. Now, you might be wondering, so what's up with all the moving up and down and what have you with the dice? You know, what does that matter? What does it care? So, after you've done, like, everybody's taken an action, you will actually go into a collection phase. And so what that means is that you are either going to be paying Sun Gems into the pot or taking Sun Gems out. And so each person, in turn, you start with the first player and you go around, so you actually have to pay attention to what they're doing. If your die is grouped with the black podmethine die, like this, so these two would be grouped with that if they hadn't changed at all. They have to pay a number of Sun Gems equal to the number of pips showing on their die. So these people would have to pay 4. Now, the one situation there is that on the first turn you don't have to pay 4. You only pay 2. So you do have the ability to you can't get really hammered right away on the very first turn of the game. So, and then if you have a die that has no other dice with it, like the 6 and the 2 right there, you have to take 1 Sun Gem. So you take a Sun Gem and you take it out of there. Now that doesn't, it doesn't necessarily give it away. Maybe you're 6 or 2, you're one of those 2, but people can say, oh, they appear to be that. Now here's where it gets funky. So any other tribe die that matches, so like these people, all these people with 3, since they're all matched up with somebody else, they're matched up but not the black die, they have the option of either taking 1 Sun Gem or taking a number of Sun Gems equal to what their die shows. And so that's where you can actually start, kind of lying, if you will. So like if you were Hydrus and you wanted to pretend, you could take 1 gem and people would say, oh, it's like, so he could be both 6 2. But remember, those 2 have to take 1. So now all of a sudden there's 3 people that took just 1. And so that's that little piece of information that you keep and you hold. The big thing is that you don't want to be matched up with the black die, because then you have to pay gems. And if you ever have to pay all of your gems into the middle and you don't have any at the end of the collection phase, then you're out and you're out of the game, just like if somebody had figured out who you are and accused you and pinpointed who you were. So, and that's, the game just continues along that path. And what'll happen is that the person who, like, that you have this kind of like rolling situation where then you pass it over to the left person, you collect all the dice, you roll them again, and then you continue on. Now, one of the modules, after you've kind of learned that basic premise of the game, you roll the dice, adjust them, and then figure out whether, try to maybe accuse somebody of who they are, what have you. And the game continues until until like everybody's knocked out but one person. So like it is a player elimination situation, but the game gets over pretty quickly. And it's actually kind of fun, even if you get knocked out, to sit there and keep watching and try to figure out like who is who, and just continue on. But I'm just going to show you one of the different things that you can add. You can actually add the Tribal Abilities expansion. And so basically what that does is you're not just a color and a name anymore. You have like different abilities as well. So like the Pilatus is change a die of your choice so that it is the same value as a Luftal die. And the Luftal die is the pink die. And so the different abilities, things you can just break the rules or whatever. Now the situation is that tribal abilities do not cost any Sun Gems to do. And so you don't give yourself away when you do a tribal ability. You actually have to look and see what you're matched up with as far as where your die is after the situation. So just like when it comes to the collection phase, you will look for your die and you will look for who you're matched up with. So like there's all these guys here right with the 3s. So you could use your own ability if your die is all by itself, you can't use your own ability. You don't have that option, just because, well, it would be silly to do it because you'd tell everybody who you were anyway. But like these four people, they have the ability to use either their own ability or use any of the other abilities that match up with them. So if you can see, so like those four could do the red, the Ignis, collect. If you collect SunGems during the collection phase, you take an extra one. So you could just take that ability if you so desired, and obviously that's during a different phase, but you can just do it at that time if you want. The blue one, trap a die of your choice. Its value may not be changed. So like you just pick one die and like nobody can adjust that. You can say, so like if somebody wanted to pick it up and roll it, they can't do that. The purple, flip a die to its opposite side. So obviously you just change it over. And then finally, orange, Silicus, collect a SunGem at the end of the collection phase. So, if like, so that you can see, like, you have these different abilities that you can enact, and then when you do them, it like, one, well, it'll help you, but it'll also like kind of hint at the fact that you are one of those that is matched up with the other people, and that's one that like you pretty much add after you play the game for the first time ever. That's when you pretty much add in almost immediately, because of the fact that it is. Kind of opens the doors to more deduction and more conniving, if you will. And so it's kind of one of those things. And this is one of those games where table talk is definitely encouraged. Flat out lying to people, making deals with people, breaking deals with people. And so it's definitely a highly interactive experience. And so it has that game beyond the game situation that I do love about stuff, where it's like after you learn the rules, then the game kind of opens up to you, and then you really start enjoying it. But that's pretty much how you play the game. Let me tell you exactly what I think of it in my conclusion. So, there you go. That's how you play SunGem Run. If you've watched, like I said in my introduction, you know I enjoy games with dice. You know I enjoy games with deduction aspects to them. So, basically, what I'm going to tell you is that if you're a fan of that Love Letter, Lost Legacy type game, I think this is kind of a no-brainer to go ahead and pick this one up. I love all the different ways that as you play the game and games like this, different options and different ways to throw people off your trail, and also to kind of be subversive and tricky, open themselves out to you as far as the game is concerned. You kind of learn different strategies, you learn different options, if you will. I'm a big fan of taking the option of rolling 3 dice at random and not using my own die. And then a trick I learned from playing poker was to look at people's reactions and not worry about the dice. Like when I play poker, somebody once told me when the like turn card comes out when you're playing Hold'em, look at the opponent that you're going against and see what the reaction to the card is, and then look at the card, because the reaction that they have for that split second is what might give away information. The card stays the same. You see the reaction, then you look at the card, then you can try to guess why they reacted the way they did. The same thing. I like taking those 3 dice, I like rolling them, but looking at the table and looking at what people do, and see if somebody curses or like kind of clenches up a little bit, because it's that little piece of information that you can get. With this game, I'm much better at guessing what other people are than I am at like kind of defending myself. I seem to have been like, I'm giving something away when I play it, because people seem to be able to figure out which of these little alien people I am more often than not. I like the fact that they did add the resource aspect to it, having to collect the gems to be able to actually go through with the accusation. So I mean, it's this wonderful good decision when it comes to your turn. Like if you're paired up with a 5 and you can take 5 gems, but you take 1 instead to kind of throw people off. And like, do I get the resources, or do I try to hide? You know, and so there's some wonderful little decisions packed into the game as well. And I mentioned like the modules and everything like that. I haven't played every single one of them, but I played most of them. And you know, and some of them I like more than others, but all of them add that variety, add wonderful little changes to it. I mean, you know, like there's an alien that uses an 8-sided die. There's an option that you can add another pink die, so there can be more than one person that is of that alien race. You know, so there's other things. There's a couple of like other races that you can have that are out there that you can use. And, you know, all of them add a wrinkle and add a new way to play the game. And so, you know, and I like games that do that without mucking up with the basic rules, and they don't. You know, they don't change anything too drastically. So, you know, the interchange, the ability of like, you know, putting it in and taking it out, as far as like, you know, the different rules, there really isn't any different rules. It's just kind of like an addendum, if you will. So for all those reasons and more, I love the art. I love the fact that Ben has continued in the path of this world that he's created, and he's building off of that world. I love that. I like that there's a lot of that going on right now as far as board game worlds, if you will. They're trying to like you know, expand upon like a little board game universe. You know, you've seen it with the AEG, their little world, the Tempest world that they have, and you've seen it with like the Among the Stars with the Martipia games. They're, you know, and like the Dice Duel world from like Space Cadets world, Dice Duel and Space Cadets, whatever, from Stronghold Games. I like the fact that they're doing it, and it feels like it's nice to be rooted, you know, in that like that overarching theme. So for all those reasons and more, I urge you to check out the Kickstarter, check it out to see if it's something that you might want to play yourself, and then get the game published through the Kickstarter, and then you can have it on your own gaming table with your buddies, your friends, and you can have fun guessing who is what alien. So, alright, well there you go. That was SunGem Run. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. I'm sure the designers would be more than happy to do so as well. So, until the time for the next review, this was Undead Viking. Thank you for your time, and you have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, goodbye.